Another day, another Washington Commander is being ranked in the top 5 at their position. First, it was quarterbacks. Now it's off ball linebackers. Let's talk about it. And congrats to Frankie Luvu for being ranked as the top 5 linebacker going into the 2025 season. Let's get into it. What it doing? What's going on, Washington Commanders Nation? It's your boy Rio Robinson, back with the latest and greatest on the Rambling with Rio YouTube channel, where we ramble about our Washington Commanders. Yesterday, we spoke about Jaden Daniels being viewed by league executive, coaches, and scouts to be the 5th best quarterback in the league, the first name off the board after you list the core 4, the elite 4 that you already knew. And today we got linebacker Frankie Luvu entering the fray and joining the conversation as the league's 5th best linebacker. Some context going into this positional ranking. They're going to be dropping each position's ranking one day at a time over the next 11 days. And according to Jeremy Fowler, this was one of the weaker position groups out of all of them. See, they're going to roll out a position per day. Running backs on the 7th, defensive tackles, edge rushers, safeties, tight ends, interior O-linemen, offensive tackles, quarterbacks, all that good stuff. They've been rolling it out throughout the month of July so far. The most uneven positional group of the top 10 series. Linebacker is a top-heavy and void of consensus group. It said 3 players appeared on at least 70% of the ballots, and usually that number is much higher, yet 32 players earned at least 1 vote. So yeah, the linebacker vote was a little bit all over the place. It says the top 2 is identical to last year, and I'm pretty sure most people can figure those out, but the rest of the field is jumble. I'm sure Philadelphia Eagles fans would like to contest the top 2 because their linebacker was very like that last year. They've come to a consensus that this is just not an elite group as a whole, but let's break down 1 through 4 before going into screw loose oos. Polynesian Demon, our guy Frankie Luvu, debuting at number 5. And Bobby Wagner didn't make the list. He was also a second-team All-Pro this year. We'll talk about that as well, and we'll see if he makes the honorable mentions of this list. Also, the team announced today they will be retiring number 81, worn by Arthur Monk. Art Monk, the GOAT receiver of the franchise, is getting his number retired. I'm going to touch on that after we talk about these linebackers, and I have a little bit of a rant to get into, but let me get my spiel off real quick. We know who the best linebacker in this league is. He should get a category of his own. Fred Warner. We already know the vibes. We don't even really need to go into the discussion for that. Roquan Smith. Obviously, we know what Roquan is as well. Most of the league was vying to trade for him when he was available a couple years ago. Negotiated his own deal with the Ravens, and he's continued to play like Roquan Smith since being traded. The biggest surprise on the list should be this guy. This guy went into last year as a journeyman-ass linebacker, and Vic Fangio turned him into a superstar last year. It says, Bond is emblematic of what's great about the NFL. A role player making $3.5 million on a 1-year deal can now get a $51 million deal the next. He went crazy in that defense last year. We saw Zach Bond 3 times last year, so I can tell you he had a phenomenal season last year. Opportunity met untapped talent when Bond joined Philadelphia as an unrestricted free agent. He was a journeyman, rotational linebacker, special teams ass player who ended up being first team All-Pro, 151 tackles, 3.5 sacks, 5 forced fumbles, and 11 tackles for loss. That's crazy, bro. That's crazy, bro. It said he didn't get a lot of the defensive snaps in New Orleans, only 301 back in 2023. So he seized the opportunity when finally given a full. Some guys, when they finally get that full-time opportunity, they seize it, they corral it, they never let it go. Word to Marshall Mathers. And Zach Bond is living a completely different reality than he was about a year ago. Shout out to him. Fuck the Eagles, but shout out to Zach Bond. I love to hear stories like that, man. If we ever let Jeremy Reeves get like a crack at being a full-time safety. I hope he has that type of ascension, man. It might be a little late in the game for that, but you love to hear stories of guys like that taking the best of their opportunity. Nick Bolton at number 4 for the Chiefs, absolute dog. Wouldn't have been mad if we took a run at him in free agency, but they obviously was not letting him get up out of there. Nick Bolton's a dog. I liked him coming out of Missouri. He's been the exact Mike that we thought he was going to be coming into the league. It says he put together his most complete season. He had 3 sacks, 6 pass deflections, 7 quarterback hits, stays with a ton of tackles. Since 2021, Bolton leads all linebackers in stuffing opposing rushers at or behind the line of scrimmage. Absolute dog. And then we got our guy, Screw Loose Oos. That's what we call him on this channel, Screw Loose Oos. Patya, let me get 3 claps and a Ric Flair. Woo! Shout out to Frankie Luvu for making a list, man. A lot of us were excited, like me and Louis T. We wanted this guy in free agency, and when Washington went out and signed him, we saw the vision. Like, we could employ this guy like our bargain brand, Target brand Micah Parsons, you know? Costco Kirkland signature brand Micah Parsons. It says, Luvu's first year as a Commander vaulted him into the top 10 conversation. He received a few votes last year, but was largely a non-factor. That happens when you play for the shit-ass Carolina Panthers. But now that the Commanders got motion, the league can see a talent like Frankie Luvu cannot be forgotten about any longer. But this year, he appeared in the top 5 of many ballots. Some evaluators believe 5 is rich for Luvu. He earned his votes, and this is a composite ranking. Put some respect on Frankie Luvu's name. According to one NFL defensive coach, I have so much respect for him. He's one of the best tone setters in the league. Amen. His production over the last 3 years is as good as anyone's at the position. Head coach Dan Quinn deploys Luvu somewhat similarly to Micah Parsons, what I was just getting into. He capitalized in a big way with 8 sacks, 12 tackles for loss, 7 pass deflections. He forced a fumble, and he recovered 2 fumbles this year. He was Mr. Everything for this defense. He was on pace to get over 10 sacks this year. He had 8 sacks with a few weeks left in the season, got a little banged up, and wasn't able to get those 2. But when we talk about how Washington didn't prioritize edge help this offseason and how's Washington going to get to the quarterback this year, I think all those conversations start and end with a guy like Frankie Luvu, Dorrance Armstrong, and Frankie Luvu. Those are your go get the quarterback candidates. Luvu's been working extensively with our guy, our GOAT and franchise leader in sacks, Ryan Kerrigan. So maybe they want to add some more pass rushing elements to Frankie Luvu's game in 2025. Plus, with the addition this year of those packages Joe Witt mentioned about Jordan McGee and the drafting of Kane Madrano, we could be running other linebackers next to Bobby Wagner and employing Luvu as more of a pass rush weapon, especially when you don't really have a solution to who's getting to the quarterback this year. So I think we're only scratching the surface of just how good Frankie Luvu can be in this defense. He's 28 years old. It says versatile playmaking in the run game, pass game, and with pass rush. His play style is all over the tape. Ask Malik Neighbors about his welcome to the NFL moment. Boy laid wood on him week 2. One knock on Luvu, he's a bit of a scheme fit. That's not a knock to me because you know whose scheme he fits? The one that he's in right now. So I'm not going to knock him for that. Shout out to our guy, Frankie Luvu, for coming in at 5. We got the Virginia boy, Stonewall Jackson High School's own Tremaine Edmonds coming in at number 6 for the Chicago Bears. Levante David, the old man, is still like that in Tampa Bay at number 7. The Marvin Overshone of the Dallas Cowboys, I hope he gets better soon, by the way, because I liked him coming out and I liked what he's become since he's got to the league. Dre Greenlaw bounced back from a disgusting injury and picked up where he left off, moving over to the Denver Broncos, and Quincy Williams at number 10. And the honorable mentions, JOK, Jeremiah Wosu-Koromoa, who I hope can bounce back what could be a career-altering injury he just received. Our guy, they call him 55 years old in the locker room, Bobby Wagner, future first ballot Hall of Famer Bobby Wagner as an honorable mention. It says The physical skills have declined, but he can still compensate with all-world instinct. That's still the quarterback of our defense, man. He got feet like cinder blocks at this point of his career. You don't want him having to chase or cover anybody, but Bobby Wagner is still one of those ones at linebacker. He comes in as an honorable mention. Patrick Queen, Demario Davis, Matt Milano, Logan Wilson, Jack Campbell, Foye Oluokun, Jamian Sherwood. God damn, that's a lot of fucking honorable mention. I thought honorable mentions would be like 2 or 3 names. You get like 20 names on the list. Also received votes: TJ Edwards, Terrell Bernard, Jordan Brooks, Deion Henley, Drew Trank. All right, this is way too many. This is way too many honorable mentions, by the way. That's a lot. Honorable mentions don't feel so honorable when there's like 30 names on the list. But getting to the other thing that I wanted to speak about real quick, the team will be retiring the number of 1 Art Monk. And they announced it today. With a beautiful tribute. They all went out. They put a video on the team page, the Instagram, the whole 9, and an announcement of when they're going to do it. You know, this team under Dan Snyder didn't retire numbers, right? He just walked down to the equipment room and said, hey, don't issue out these numbers, handshake type of agreement, spit in the palm, don't give this number out. Well, over the years, the last few years, we've retired the number of Sonny Jurgensen. We've retired the number of Darryl Green, Sean Taylor, and now we're getting to 1 Arthur Monk, a guy who played here for 14 years, won 3 Super Bowls, and is probably and statistically the best wide receiver this franchise has ever fielded. This is a no-brainer. This is great, and the gesture in which they retired the number was beautiful. They'll be retiring his number November 2nd on Sunday Night Football. We'll be wearing the Super Bowl era threads versus the Seattle Seahawks, a game where they should not be in prime time. We're going to beat that ass that day. But here's my nitpick in my rant of the week. Kevin Sheehan, boomer radio host from the Team 980, comes out and says, good for Art, but I think they should have done Riggo first. Here's what we're not going to do. They're retiring the number from one of our greatest players ever, who was there for all 3 Super Bowl victories. Shut the fuck up, Kevin Sheehan. This is why I can't listen to local radio anymore. I have no interest in the Team 980 or 106.7 The Fan, because the main character syndrome and crybaby bitch assness of the host of these programs. Kevin Sheehan has turned into Thom Lavero's bitch ass before our eyes, and all he does is cry about shit. This is a day where you say congratulations, you get happy because the team got it right again, and you keep it pushing. Your snide ass response to this post is a problem for me. John Riggins is going to get his number retired, and I'm sure they're going to roll it out perfectly as they do so. You don't have to knock the team when they're doing things correctly. Sometimes you need to just shut the fuck up and continue hosting your dry-ass radio show that sounds like paint dry, and your podcast. Your program is garbage unless Chris Cooley or a player is on it. Learn how to get 100 concurrent viewers in your live chat on the Team 980 YouTube channel, and shut the fuck up about Team Matters, because all you do is cry about everything the team does. Some of you old entitled fans think everything revolves around you in the fan base. It does not. Congratulations to Art Monk. I just wanted to get that off my chest. Terry will be speaking after a Eastern Automotive's commercial shoot, which is interesting to me. If he says anything worth note, we'll be covering that on the channel as well. But congrats to Art Monk, and congrats to Frankie Luvu. And radio hosts in this town need to be replaced with new radio hosts, because God, sports talk used to mean something in this town to me. But that's all I got for right now. Hail to the Washington Commanders. Until next time, Commander Rio, out.